What is going on, guys? Sergeant Galaxia back with part 3 of the Ultimate Deck Profile featuring Spellbooks, Prophecies, and this one is going to be talking about siding against or for Spellbooks and how to side against the other stuff if you are playing Spellbooks. So we'll just get right into it. First, we'll talk about some of the monsters. I have Puppet Plant, Kaiku, and Veiler. So some of these might be relatively easy to understand. So we'll just start with Veiler. Veiler, if you're, say for example, we'll start with you as a Spellbook player. If you're a Spellbook player with Veiler, it's nice if you're going against certain decks such as Noble Knights or Fire Fists or anything that kind of can get their ball rolling on their first turn. If you're going game 2, it's nice to side these in with either drop one of the breakers for the extra Veiler, or if you're really feeling that you're not going to draw anything good, side these with your Fiendish Chains if you're really feeling that you don't need to worry about attacking, just the effects. Veiler is a good option for you there. Also, in Spellbooks in Game 3, this is also good to have with level 4s and stuff like that, and a wide variety of different levels with Spellbook of Life, because if you're in Game 3, the biggest problem that Spellbooks have, which I'll also discuss in the pros and cons, is the fact that it does terrible when you have to do damage in time. The deck simply just fails at that. So if you make a Tempest Magician, which is a level 6 Synchro Spellcaster, which basically burns 500 for each spell counter on it, and it can get spell counters by ditching cards in your from your hand to the grave. You basically just have like a free tuner. That way you can also, what you can also do is get like a Knight's End as well, but it doesn't have the effect negating ability that Veiler does. So Kaiku is still good in this format, I believe. A lot of players are going towards like Chaos now, like Chaos Dragons and Chaos Erratics. Also, a deck that this punishes a little bit is Boojins, because of the need to banish stuff. It's amazing in the mirror because you have to still banish with Fate, remember, because Fate is still at 1, but there's still banishing with Fate, there's still banishing with Priestess, there's still banishing going on against that deck. And Kaiku is a nice fat 1800, and it's just an amazing card, and you get to banish cards when you deal damage. And having this beast be either a 2800 beater with power or a 3800 beater with power, it's just absolutely insane. And Puppet Plant is more towards kind of some of your rogue stuff. Madolches, let's see, Gravekeepers, Mirror, all that stuff. Because especially against Gravekeepers now, once they start to become, because I believe there's still a little bit of hype now that they got a lot new support for it. They're gonna be a deck soon, so might as well prepare for it now, because they have their own warning or judgment, really. So that's something that we need to consider as well. So those are some of the 3. I'm sure there's others out there, but those were the first top 3 that came into my mind. You can also side in like Faders and DD Crows and stuff like that. And some of the traps that you should side: DNA Surgery, Will of the Decree, Rivalry of Warlords, and Retort. So we'll start again from this side. Retort is hands down just for the mirror. To me, this is better than Ref Panel due to, I don't know, I think it is better just because it's a quick play, or a spell speed 3 quick play. And it just does a lot of things that Ref Panel simply just doesn't do, in the sense of speed and how quickly it can actually do things. And yeah, it's just really good in the mirror. And Rivalry is good against a lot of things. It just kills Evil Swarms if they can't deal with it. It just deals with a bunch of decks that have different types and things like that. Constellars has a problem with this as well. And just decks like that, mainly Evil Swarms and Constellars that pop into my mind. And because you only have spellcasters, and it really doesn't matter. So next one, Decree. Decree is for, again, those rogue decks and stuff like that. If you're trying to side out all your traps, and if you feel that they're siding against you like DNA surgeries, which they're 100% going to side against you. They're going to side against just a bunch of stuff. Imperior, Iron Wall. There we go. And DNA surgery are like the two that I can think of as a form of traps. Vanities is still a card. And this kind of just stops all those key cards that people are going to side against you if you're playing spell books. And Royal Decree just kind of stops that. I mean, Seven Tools obviously does the same exact thing, but it is still it's just a lingering thing, and you can still chain it off of like DNA surgery because they're both supposed to be two. So yeah, DNA surgery is a new one that I personally am going to add in my side. Now, because of Gear Gaia's and Karakuri's and all those cards that need their types, so I can kind of, it's kind of funny, I can finally get my revenge as a spellbook player towards other decks that always use this card against me, and it's just devastating, especially with like Karakuri, with all the synchros that they need with machines and stuff like that, because since dragons are dead, basically, people need their combos to come out of the extra deck again. And that's why DNA surgery is so good, I believe. And we'll go on to the spells. I only have a few spells, and that's just the two, MSTs and fissures. MSTs obviously for, it's primarily for Bujins, to be honest, because Bujins have Yamato set 5 pass, and they also guard you against the traps that I mentioned before if you don't have decrees such as DNA surgery, Imperial Iron, Vanities, all that crap. It deals with it very well. And also, if you're playing against any deck that has field spells and you're afraid of your tower getting constantly destroyed by another field spell, like Gravekeepers or zombies playing Zombie World, or having Zombie World getting sided to you because it's essentially a DNA surgery with steroids because it affects your grave so you can't life anything back. It simply just answers all those problems that you would have. And Fissure is more for like the mermails and Chaos, because all of their lights and darks are getting banished as soon as they hit the grave, and it goes well against hand traps, and it's easy to side into it for me because I don't main hand traps or Veilers. So yeah, so that is the side, guys. Those are some of the cards that you're going to be seeing. Those are the cards that you probably should consider in your side if you're playing this deck. And the final, or not the final, there's two more. The next one is going to be the pros and cons of the deck, and so that is going to be in part 4. So hopefully we'll see you guys there.